G'day, welcome to Sumo's Projects. Spring has sprung down under. Beautiful day, 30 degrees. Got the barbie ready. I've got nowhere to put stuff. Gonna have to fix this problem. Might have to make some sort of stand. Oh well, part and parcel of it. The timber rack always reveals some sort of reward for your next project, and this was the case here. So I had some leftover pine from part of my bench top from a while ago, so just removing the brackets from it, and I think I'll use this. This will be nice. I'm going to paint the legs on this. So I made the total height of these legs at 1 metre or 39 inches. That's quite appropriate, and it's a good size stand for next to the barbie. Next thing to do is get out some sort of trays that will be brought out and measure them up, and then allow a little bit extra for it. So I'm going to make the stands for this at approximately 500mm or 20 inches by 400mm, 16 inches. I think that's enough. I've still got this bit of beautiful black walnut which I purchased over 12 months ago from a wood show nearby. So it's got a few cracks and splits in it, but I'm going to make it and salvage the best I can out of this. So it's time I headed over to the bandsaw, and I've got this bandsaw slab cutting jig, and if you haven't seen the video, I did make a video quite a while back on how I set up this this jig, as well as the infeed and outfeed part of the tables you can see there. But it's just a simple process. You sort of measure out roughly where you want to take a section of the slab off, just to clean it up, and then you just attach two screws into it, and away you go from there. With this set up, I'll probably be happy to cut a log that's about 1 metre, 1.5 long, and the diameter, well, it's all according to the weight of the actual log. So if there's 2 of you, no worries, you can probably get a fair bit more done. But it cuts nice and clean, and then it's just a matter of going over the thicknesser and the jointer, and giving a nice clean up and a 90-degree setup ready to go for the next part of the operation. From time to time you like to give your table saw a bit of a workout. Mine's a 3 horsepower. This is not ultra hard, this material, so my blade's also a little bit dull, but it did the job reasonably well here. And as usual, we add a little bit of culture, just take the sharp edge off with a chamfer. I think that's French. Someone might correct me on that. Look at that, rustic in a contemporary way. Rustic. Rustic. I was a bit hard pressed for time trying to get this build done for the barbecue. It was not far away actually, So I just used butt joints, a little bit of glue on the ends, and a couple of clamps, and also a couple of brads. And this is normally, it holds things into place, especially once you put your bottom on. Nothing moves. As for the bottoms, I just went through the timber rack and found this plywood. This would be sufficient. For the legs and the bottom of the trays, I use this British Paints Spray Easy Paint and Prime. This is specifically for timber, and it's as you can see, it's pretty easy to use. Probably a couple of coats, and this should be looking pretty good. Trust British paints? Sure can. Can. So to attach the bottoms, just putting a bit of glue on the bottom, as you can see, and then just a simple process of brad nailing these on, and a couple of clamps for good measure, and they'll hold really steadfast. Applying 3 coats of spray on poly, trying to highlight the features of the walnut grain. Beautiful timber it is. I'm attaching this to the inner frame with screws, so just pre-drilling with a countersink, and that makes the attachment process so much easier and alleviates any splitting issues. I'm moving up from the bottom of the frame 300 millimeters or 12 inches, and the next shelf will sit another 300 millimeters above that, and with the final tray sitting right at the top of the stand. Out the extra section, which makes up the stiles or rails, if you like, and then I have a really dumbfounded moment where I'll probably say bugger. Yeah, I think I said bugger because I didn't allow to make the very top the right size. So back to the drawing board, as you do, and I cut out another piece of this walnut, and I'm just going to attach that with glue to the outer face of the top shelf, and it actually looks better in my opinion. So yeah, mistakes can work in your favour at times. One of the grouse things here is it's still got the bark attached, so I might apply a bit of epoxy later on and see if I can just solidify that a little bit further. So, but I'm liking my mistake here. I've used pocket hole screws here, very simple and easy. Gives you that much more room for movement, and as the pocket holes are on the inside, once the top's on, you'll never ever see these open holes. I'm marking out the centres of two of the legs at the bottom, and I'll just put a little pilot hole here. I'm drilling these out with a Forstner bit, and that will allow me to put a T-nut in, and then that way I'll be able to have height adjustment for the legs, should that be on unequal surface, or just a little bit of my workmanship which may have been a little bit out. These are the legs and these are the T-nuts. And adding a little bit of super glue, that won't go astray, it'll just help hold these in position. For the wheels, I chocked up a little bit and tried to get a bit of a level happening here. Pilot drilled and then went to the drill press and drilled a through hole. This would probably be a bit more accurate. Then fed that 12mm rod through to an approximate size, just enough sort of coming out from the ends to attach a couple of nuts to lock it into position. To attach the top, I'm pre-drilling, and I'm using some very fine threaded screws to avoid any potential splitting of the walnut. I went up to the local hardware store and purchased this handle. It's a brass handle with a coppery sort of coating on it, so it's a little bit complementary to the walnut itself, and it will just help wheel this around the yard. Also bought a couple of similar type hooks here, and they're going to be beneficial to holding some things.
That's not even it. And so I got the old version and I played it to them, and they had to